The creation of things can be very painful, and sometimes it can bring out the worst of you, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you got to do what you have to do to do good work sometimes.
I live in New York City. I live in New York City. I live in New York City. Yeah.
Balancing my work is difficult. I don't sleep often. I've trained myself to need 4 hours of sleep. Even yesterday I worked for 8 hours doing grant stuff, and then I leave my office and I went and edited for 4 hours. No matter what I'm working on, if I'm exhausted, nobody's winning. So I try to not exhaust myself.
I think every artist goes through those moments where you want to quit. It's too much. You're bleeding daily. And I don't mean physically. You're just squeezed and pressured so much that you just say, is this worth it? How many years have I been doing this and I'm still broke, hurt, no insurance, no support. I don't have any real representation. So I think every artist has those moments where you just want to cry and go away and come back new.
There's the daily struggle of I need to get the hell out of here, and also I can't tear myself away. And partially just because the same kind of stress and competitiveness and overflowing of the arts, which makes it so great, also makes it maddening.
I always feel the hardest thing in New York is deciding what you believe in so much that you can shut out enough other things that you can concentrate on that thing.
You're not washing your clothes, you're barely cleaning your apartment, you're just putting everything you have into that. And so it's kind of a binge life, It's like a life of binging. And at a certain point, that doesn't become very sustainable.
The thing to remember is that this is really a marathon, not a sprint. And you have to pace yourself to be doing this over a long period of time.
The schedule that I have, which is a crazy, crazy schedule that I have to try to remain as relaxed as possible inside of it. Otherwise, I'll start to feel that craziness, and then I might start to go mentally in a weird place. And that's when I have to make a move of some sort.
But this had better be the last time!
For me, it's not getting immobilized by the tension or the stress and keep moving away from it.
Being able to just disengage could be a replenishing thing, a recharging way, because you're always running on semi-empty. I'm actually trying to act less and less because I think the production side may tend to suffer. It's hard when you're the producer and you're also one of the artists. That just takes up so much brain space.
Some people's chemical balance, and like me, I have to pop a drug every so often, something to keep me from going because I get too wired sometimes. I have to calm down.
I still continue to have days when I don't get work done and, want to despair and jump into a river. I don't, because I know I'm thinking of a big picture, which is, just that opportunity to get up and try again tomorrow and make the work.
I had one thing that helped me when I decided to become a dancer, and nobody in the family that was a dancer, is that my teacher, John Rowland, gave me this little book by Alan Watts, The Wisdom of Insecurity. And The Wisdom of Insecurity, I think, was the most brilliant thing you can get as an 18-year-old choosing to be an artist, because you really have to be able to live with insecurity.
I did a show at PS 2022 called Facing Life's Problems, about turning 30. I felt like I had really accomplished something, and after I did the show, I watched the video that we had made of it and was horrified and plunged into this state of acute humiliation that lasted a year. I had what I often call humiliation Tourette's. I'd be walking down the street and get a glimpse of myself in that video, and I'd be like, oh, God, oh, it's terrible.
The thing we have to learn is to be tender with ourselves. Yes, we have to be self-critical. We must as artists, but we also have to find a healthy balance. or you paralyze yourself.
The older I get, the more I want to spend more of my time finding a way to work where I'm not as beat up by it in a way, you know, where I can kind of enjoy life more in it. And that might mean that I act less, and I do think, you know, but I don't know, but I'll never not want to do it. But I got to figure out how, you know. That's about the living part.
New York City. I live in New York City. I live in New York City.